saints, oh, marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching
And subscribe. Welcome to Saints at Menachem Methodist Church. We have a very special guest today. Her name is Doris Smith, and she's been a lifelong member of the church and a Christian all these years. So Doris, thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I want you to relax and smile and share with us your stories. I'm sure you have plenty of stories to share with us, right? And the first question I have is this. Tell us about your childhood, the years that you were growing up. It was Depression era, right? When you were growing up. How was it when you were growing up?
We had a very good life.
You did?
My father worked for the Hackensack Water Company, so he always had a job, a good job.
Yes.
And my mother did well with keeping the house and us and clothing and whatever.
That's right. Now
We had no complaints.
You had no complaint. You have an older sister and
A younger brother.
Younger brother, right? Yeah.
I had a wonderful family. My mother was a very good homemaker, and she was very upset because the doctor aborted her, and she would have had a little boy. And I'll tell you, if she could have murdered that doctor, she would have. She was so upset because she did have my brother later on, and there was no problems. I was in high school when he was born, and I remember my father had to go to work, and he asked me to drive my mother to the hospital, which wasn't that far. It was the next town over. So I stayed home from school. She had the boy, and I was waiting for my friends to come home from school so I could tell them. And I'm saying, oh, my mother had a little boy. And they're looking at each other like, what? Nobody knew she was pregnant. She didn't, gain that much weight, and nobody knew. They were very surprised to see a baby. So, of course, we enjoyed our brother. He was at the advantage of having two older sisters because we took him every place and did everything with him. Always had him in New York doing something.
Right, yeah. That's good. Thank you. Do you have any favorite memories? One or two memories that, you're growing up?
I had a dream the other night about my mother and father.
Oh, yeah?
They were both with me, and it was midlife for them, and they both looked so well.
Oh. Do you have dreams like that often?
No. That was the first time that I had that, but I also had a dream a while back about something that happened in 1944, and it was to the letter of how it happened.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
1944.
1944. I was
So
in high school.
You were in high school?
I was in high school, and I was coming back on a bus from the South because my father always took us to Virginia once a year at least, Richmond, Virginia. Mount Jackson, I should say.
Yeah.
And they were going back, and I had to go back to go to school. And I sat in the back of the bus, not realizing that I was in the South where you don't go in the back of the bus.
Oh, man.
But I went because of the leg room on the seat.
That's right.
And a young man got on with his mother. He was black.
Yeah.
And there were black people on the bus. Nobody said anything to me. I didn't say anything to anybody because I really didn't realize it until he got on and he sat down.
Oh.
And that wasn't anything with me. He could sit next to me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We weren't brought up to be.
That's right.
Like the South was, so.
Oh, boy. I'm sure it touched the black folks' heart that, look at this, perhaps they...
He got off the bus eventually before me, and I got off and went home, and that was it.
Oh, wow.
That was it.
Thanks for sharing that great story. Thanks. Here's another question I have. I introduced you to the audience that you've been a lifelong Christian. But tell us about your being a Christian. How you got to know the Lord?
My mother had us say our prayers at night.
Okay.
And we went to Sunday school. From Sunday school, we taught Sunday school class. We went to the choir. That was it.
So from the first day, that you just went to church with your mom first, and then Sunday school, and involved in Sunday school teaching later on, and so forth, right? Did you walk to church in those days, or?
It was within a walking distance.
Oh, within a walking distance. You still have a connection with the church today? No?
No, it's changed.
Yeah,
Our minister was a long time gone.
yeah. But the church is still there, right?
The church is still there. I wanted to get married in that church, in the
Yeah.
Dutch Reformed Church,
Yeah.
and the minister that was there at the time would not, he was afraid
Yeah.
that this woman that was giving my husband trouble would come in and during this,
Oh my God.
yeah, so he wouldn't marry us.
Oh.
And we went to New York City
Yeah.
and got involved in a Methodist church over there
Yeah.
and stayed with him for many, many years.
Oh.
In fact, he was retired and my son was born, and we went up to where he was up in New York State to have him baptize our baby.
Oh, nice. So what was the name of the church that you grew up? Like you said,
Grove
Dutch
Reformed.
Reformed.
Grove Dutch Reformed.
Grove Dutch
Dutch
Reformed.
Reformed.
You said it's still today.
It's still there.
I may look for the picture at least of the picture, church. All right. So, can you share with us the times when you surely thought God was with you? I would call God moment. This is the time that you experienced God working and helping you in your life. Can you tell us one or two occasions like that? I'm sure there are many.
I think God was with me when I met my husband.
Tell us a little more about your love story. We have an audience here.
I was in the Junior League of North Hudson.
Okay.
And it was in Weehawken, so he always supported anything that we had.
Okay.
I did not know him from seeing him over in Weehawken.
Yeah.
I heard about him, but I did not, because he always supported our doings.
Okay.
My friend was going to a church dinner that he had asked her to go to, and she had said, could I come? And he also extended the invitation to me, and that's how I met him.
Now, you were in high school at the time?
No, I was out working.
Oh, you're working.
I was already working.
So when you said he supported your project, what kind of project was it?
Well, the Junior League was all
Girl Scout thing?
doing something for somebody else.
Was that right? Junior League.
I have spent my life doing volunteer work. It was a lot of volunteer work with Junior League, helping people.
Yeah.
And it was also, I did hospital volunteer.
Yeah, that's right.
For years.
Yeah.
For years.
I know that you did so many hours of volunteer.
I was a Red Cross nurse's aide. Red Cross after World War II did a course. And I was in the hospital, St. Mary's Hospital in Hoboken. And I was the only one from the class that stayed in the program, and the hospital would let me come in and go where I wanted to go and work.
In other words, during the World War II, you helped the Red Cross?
Right, yeah.
Oh.
Yes, they had a nurses program that they started, and I went into it. So I was working 8 hours and serving 4 hours.
Wow.
So
Thank
kept me
you.
out of trouble.
I'm sure. So tell us about this time. How did you come to Manahawkin Methodist Church?
I was down here on weekends, and I wanted to go to church.
Yeah.
So I really didn't. We when we were younger, we went, like the minister stopped one day and said to my mother, "Why don't you come to church?"
Okay.
So we started to go to the Lutheran church.
Oh, it was Lutheran? Yeah, okay.
And even when I had the children in Jersey City, the minister was up there that we knew. Because they went to the Lutheran school down there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to the Episcopal Church in Barnegat Light, and I didn't want to go to the Lutheran Church, so I went down to Beach Haven, to the Methodist Church.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And it was so hard to park.
Oh, is that right?
Especially during the summer.
Oh, you're right.
So I just got upset with the traffic and decided I was going to come over here and roam around. And I looked around and I found this church.
Wow. Back then, you drove yourself, right?
Yeah, I drove over and found this church
Yeah.
and started,
Yeah.
and I liked it.
And also, your sister Eleanor joined later.
Well, I told her I was coming here, and soon after I was coming here that she came down.
Mm. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you both liked our church.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
Good.
it's a beautiful church.
Mm-hmm. What was the first impression that you had as you entered the sanctuary church?
Probably reminded me of Grove Reform.
Oh, is that right? Stained glasses or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were people friendly at the time to you?
Yes.
All right. All
Yes.
right. That's good. That's good. That's good.
I don't remember the minister's name, but I liked him.
Yeah.
The young man.
Yeah. He was minister before me. His name was Clark.
Clark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. About the principles that you follow along to live by,
Do unto others.
do unto others, we call golden rule.
God loves you.
Oh,
Remember that God loves you.
remember that God loves you.